Hi, I'm Magma, the creator of the Invisible Zone. Welcome to Philosophy, the origin of the Invisible Zone. I've attempted to make this video 3 times now, and I'm not really sure what the roadblock is. Maybe it's just a really overwhelming project for me, or maybe it's hard for me to do something scripted that means so much to me on a personal level. Whatever it is, it seems that whenever I speak to the Safe Place mentorship members, I'm able to get my words out in the way that I want to, possibly because I'm able to check for feedback from them to make sure they're understanding what I'm saying, because a lot of it is kind of out there. That being said, I chopped up a couple bits of discussion between 2 different days of streaming. That's what I've decided to use for this recording. So please enjoy. And remember, like I said, I do believe truly that half of you who decide to digest this and take it seriously will succeed twice as much as the half who do not. So really, I'm begging you from a place of personal experience, just take this to the heart and really open yourself up to a new perspective on the market and on life. You might learn a thing or two outside of just trading. Well, the thesis of it is that every single relationship that you have right now, if you're not conscious or aware of the theory of the sphere, is most likely mutually non-consensual. Both of you are trapped and locked into a exchange of correspondence with one another because we are creatures of habit that are addicted to input-output. Whenever I say hello to you and you say hello back, it feels good in our brain chemistry. So people took phones and they did that to us with apps where they hacked that same survival instinct of community into tricking you to be on Instagram for hours. Whenever I text you, you text me back and it feels good, and then you text me back because you want me to text you again, and it feels good when your phone buzzes again. And it feels good when my phone buzzes. So we're just having these non-consensual, drug addiction-induced conversations that mean nothing. Spending a bunch of time with people in our lives we don't really at our core being want to spend that time with. And the way I ended up there was, well, I guess not the way I ended up there, but what I got out of it mostly was 2 things. Escape this fear. I wrote this while I was spending over 2 years completely off of social media and YouTube and video games. And then the second thing, just like getting down to true happiness and your true nature, I kind of discovered that maybe who I was not because of my choice to be that, but because I had just been taught to be that. And no one wants to accept that. No one wants to think it because they're comfortable. It's a thought that most people just forcefully dissociate from. And I totally get that. I kind of, respect and understand the emotion and the sentiment there of just, I want to be comfortable. But for me, amen, to answer your question, I just couldn't be comfortable anymore. I couldn't live my life anymore knowing what I truly believe I know, which is that no human has ever done a single thing selflessly in the history of the world, including inside of even the most selfless deity depicted in religious texts, has done what they do because it's what's best for them to get a result of what they want and what they believe that they need or know that they need. No human, no God, no anything has ever done anything other than for themselves. It's not a bad thing, because if we had a different nature, become conscious and immediately start looking for something to strangle ourselves with. Hell, if we had the instinct to not look after ourselves, we would probably strangle ourselves out of instinct with our umbilical cord. So it's a good thing that we have this nature in us to seek our best interests always and try to do what's best for ourselves. But the way this plays into fear greed concepts in trading is that whenever you press that button, it's out of fear 100% of the time. Fear that if you don't press the button, you're not going to make money, which we would call greed, and fear that if you do press the button, that you're going to lose. And what we try to do in trading is find where is the rational place to press the button. Where is it rational to have greed? Where is it rational to have fear? It's not rational to have fear off of the impulse, refuse to buy something, or maybe you're holding it, right? And you're trying to get a big runner with a lot of points and you have a good TP, it's solid, it's research, but your fear tells you to take it off and you leave a bunch on the table. It's all the same thing. It's called fear greed concepts because I couldn't call it fear concepts. Greed is just a different kind of fear. Everyone is just trying to do what's best for themselves. And in the moment, you're going to pull that trigger because you think it's what's best for yourself. A lot of times when people are thinking of just themselves, well, which they always are, but when they're thinking of just themselves, like as far as the primary source goes, what I'm trying to say by that is, let's say that I think about, like, me thinking about my wife and her best interest is actually just me thinking about myself because I want her to be happy. because that's good for me, because I enjoy her being around, I value her, I believe that I need her, and her being happy and loving me, that's the result for me thinking of her, or being considerate of her, right? But when somebody is just thinking first of themselves, and it's not about themselves through benefiting someone else in their life, like directly of themselves, like I want this money right now, or I don't want to lose this money right now, that's typically when they will make the irrational greed and fear choices. I discovered that whenever I think about someone that I love, like my wife, and the direct effect it has on her, and how the effect of how it affects her has an effect on me, I actually make decisions out of a very rational place of fear and greed. But I did blow some accounts in the past, and the fix for it for me was, I told Matt that he needs to hold me accountable. Every time that I pull the trigger, I need to think about Hannah, my wife, before I pull the trigger. Is this in her best interest? If it's in her best interest, it's in my best interest. But it adds a layer of thought to it, and methodology to it, and patience to it, to where, so what I'm saying is, like, this is something that you hear in just about everywhere. Everything that you've done, like whether it's sports or whether you're trying to get some upgrade in your career or whatever it is, people will tell you that you need to have a reason why. I believe that is why you need to have a reason why. I think that you need to have a reason why because it helps you maintain focus and just think more clearly. Think more clearly. So then what is the fear there? The fear is that, I'm doing something that might not be best for my wife, which then in turn will result in me being disappointed in myself, and maybe it creates a rift between us two because she trusted me to do what was best for her and I didn't. But see, when you're just making the decisions, okay, I want this money now or I don't want this money now, that's when every trader's had this thought, right? Every trader's had this thought where they say, F it. If I blow the account, I blow the account at this point. I don't want to deal with it and draw down. I'm just going to full port here and try to make it all back. Or they try to hold a trade for too long, or they try to over leverage because they really believe in a trade and they think this is my opportunity to make all this money right now. So the way that we get rid of all that is two things. One, talk to somebody, find an accountability partner, talk to yourself and decide on, what is your reason why, what is something that you can look to think more clearly before you make decisions, and find confidence. Why do we need confidence? A lot of traders think that your journey is over whenever you have figured out basically the winning strategy and how to call price, and you've gained the confidence to be able to pull the trigger. But deeper than that, and later on than that, you'll come up against this brick wall where you fall into the trap of irrational fear and greed. And I'm telling you, it comes from a place of thinking that you will not be able to make money tomorrow. I don't want to take this trade because, first of all, if I lose it, I don't believe that I can make it back. And that's fear. And then on the greed side, I don't want to sell this now. I want to over leverage and I want to hold it for too long, because if I don't, then I'll regret that I didn't, because I don't believe that I can make money tomorrow. So I'm going to over leverage on this opportunity today and try to squeeze everything out of it. I don't believe that if I lose, I can make the money back. So I'm not going to trade it. Even traders who are good, who know what they're doing, who can see and call price and call swing points and catch a long or a short for 100 points in both directions, can get distracted by exactly that. And they don't even realize that it's going on subconsciously. They have no freaking idea at all. They know that they're hesitant. They know that they're scared, but they don't know why. I referenced religious texts, like I said, because it's part of my past. But if anyone here has read the Old Testament of the Bible, there's a story, whether it's a metaphor or whether it's a true story, we won't know until we're dead. But the Israelites were in the desert and they were starving. And the story goes that God said, if you just trust me, I'll make it basically rain food, manna every day. But you can't store any of it. You can't get greedy. You have to trust me. And it was going well for a short period of time, and then they just started trying to store it in bowls. And then the story says that God stopped giving them food, and all the stored food that they had turned to like worms and parasites. And that's basically what's going on in your head is, you should take profits, but you just are afraid that you won't make money tomorrow, so you're going to try to make all of it now. I remember I was talking to Hans about this, about the philosophy and my understanding of it, and I asked him, is that because the Israelites didn't love God, or is it because they were afraid of starving? And he said, well, clearly it's not because they don't love God, it's because they were afraid of starving. I'm like, yeah, exactly. There's no consideration of love. They love food. Yeah, they love food. They love not starving, meaning they're afraid of starving. That's it. All we are is just afraid. We're afraid of not making it. We're afraid of losing it. We're afraid of them loving us back and getting into a relationship. We're afraid of them rejecting us. We're afraid of if they leave. We're afraid of how could things go if they stay. We're afraid of, is our business gonna succeed? What if it doesn't succeed? Well, then we'll be failures. Well, what if it does succeed? Look at all the work that we'll have to do. What if we can't handle it? And it's the same thing. It all goes back to the exchange. It all spawns at the theory of the sphere. Why did I say hi to you? Because I wanted you to respond to me and say hi back. Why? Because maybe there's a chance that if I'm in my time of need, that you'll be there for me. If I can form a relationship with you where I force you to value me because I'm having correspondence with you. You ever get calls from people that you barely talk to asking you to come over and help them move for pizza and beer? No thanks. I don't even know you. Oh, well, we talk, we text. And as a matter of fact, let me think about it. Hang on. I don't even like this person. This is kind of a side topic, but what I decided when I was in my period of escaping this fear to find myself, I said the only thing that I care to do in this life is to be on the side of a mountain with my wife. That's who Magma is. What I truly want and love is peace and privacy. So I realized everything else I shouldn't worry so much about. There are passions in life that I have. You got to discover who you are. But what am I getting at? What do you mean it comes back to the exchange? Because everything is out of fear and greed. I'm responding. Why did you say thank you? Why did you open the door for me? Even the most selfless reason of it's the right thing to do, it's instilled in you. And you believe that it is best for you to do the right thing. And that's what you believe, so that's what you do. That's why you open the door for me. There's a fear of not doing what you believe to be the right thing because of how you were raised, and there is a fear of doing the wrong thing based on what you believe is the right and wrong thing. And then in response, why did I say thank you? Well, if I don't say thank you, two things could happen. One, they won't open the door for me anymore. Two, they'll tell other people that I didn't say thank you when I open the door for them, and then other people won't open the door for me. Everything is just, we're just afraid. So you just have to figure out when is it rational. That's why I tell people to try to go on that journey to discover themselves, because you come back out of it and you realize holy crap, everything I do is forced. Everything that I do, I don't want to do. Everything. Almost everyone that you're talking to right now, if you haven't gone on this journey by yourself yet. I already explained to you just now how it applies to trading. And you guys all heard that and understand now how does it apply to trading. Well, everything we do is based out of fear and greed. So we need to know, we need to take our time and get calculated and make decisions based off rational fear and greed rather than irrational fear and greed. And like I say, I keep referring to religious texts and stuff, for example, because there's a lot of wisdom in ancient texts, whether you believe in them or not. I don't know what I believe in at all, but I'm just saying I know that there's a lot of wisdom in a lot of these things, whatever, any of the books. Right, like I'm talking about, if anyone's ever heard of righteous anger versus unrighteous anger, or unjustified actions, if you will. All righteous anger means in religious texts is just rational fear. Anger is just a response in fear, no matter what anyone tells you. They will always be wrong. It is just a mask emotion. Anger is just fear. You are afraid. If I don't say something negative or act out, they either, whether if it's in violence and forceful, they won't stop what they're doing and they're hurting me. If it is to just show them that you're angry, then it's a tactic, communicatively, I should say, to get them to stop what they're doing because you believe that they care about your emotion. Now, in price, how does it exist on a chart? We just talked about how you apply it in your life. How does it exist on a chart? Well, let's say a relationship with someone that you love, right? I'll talk about my relationship with my wife. As you guys can tell, I love her very much. Now, we started at some point when we met, and right off the rip, we were going. The first night that Hannah and I met, we spent 4 hours late into the night up sitting on the rooftop of a parking garage. From that day forward, we didn't stop seeing each other literally like every day. And actually with me and Hannah, when we first started, it was pretty rough. We would fight like more than we would get along. But when we would get along, it was just so good that it made all of the fighting seem like it just like hadn't even happened. Right? We hadn't ever really come up against in hindsight, we thought it was so big, the struggles that we would go through. We thought that they were these massive, terrible things, right? I mean, they looked like, holy crap, we're falling out of the sky. But really, we were just heading towards this invisible zone here, and nothing a little D&B can't fix, fellas, if you know what I'm saying. We kept on having these little climbs and these pullbacks, and sometimes it would seem like, oh crap, things are going to get bad, and then we would fail to take the midpoint and we'd go up higher, and wow, look, we found support there and we're so happy and we're getting along. And then I'm going to be honest with you guys, we actually did run into some pretty serious troubles, especially around all this time when we were kind of changing our mind on a lot of things about what we believe about life and the world and existence and human nature. It was complicated, man. Like we thought that we had faced something difficult before, but we blew the internal and we were starting to blow the external. We were hoping we could get D&B, but then we just kept running down. I mean, look at this crash. Luckily, in my marriage, we were able to find a space in between the successful lows in our relationship that we launched. D&B couldn't save you twice. Yeah, it only saves you for a little while. After you get through a couple years of being married, D&B doesn't really save you anymore. We came in between and we found support in nothing other than just the idea that we remembered all this over here. See, we remembered that the last time when we were down here and we doubled down and we bought, it paid off. And even though we believe that there's a chance that it could turn around on us again, we climb in a steady, consolidated manner now. Always establishing points of support by being honest with one another, not rushing ahead of ourselves and overextending. We're not failing to take the high and staying stagnant. We're just steady. And you know where sometimes we get these little pullbacks are from? All it is a little one right here, and then we move up and we anchor to our next high, and right to here, and then we have a little one. And it sends us down there, and then we shrink this zone, and we got a little one right here, and it sends us down here, and oh, we took this point. That's good. This is healthy. Let's move up to the high up left. Where's our challenge going to be in our relationship is in these invisible zones, where last time we were up here, we came crashing down, and now we're trying to go up there again. Here's a picture someone sent me today about another strategy. They were talking about how someone stole someone else's concept, and this is the original concept. I'm not going to say who it is with the stealing. I didn't draw this. I did not draw this. Do you see the invisible zone? They don't even know that they're drawing it. This is in everyone's drawings of market structure, and they have no idea that they are drawing it. And I believe truly that it comes from a place of not knowing the philosophy, because I wouldn't have found this without the philosophy. You can learn it without the philosophy because I discovered it with the philosophy, but without it, it never would have been discovered. All right, that was the first clip from day one, and now this clip is from the following day. It's much shorter. We're almost done here. The midpoint is so important. It's a philosophical answer. It's the space between where the exchange between fear and greed occurs. So the philosophy specifically behind the invisible zone is that you've got people who bought down here at a good low price and they sent price way up. Then some of them sold, and then some more people bought trying to send price to continue. And then the people who didn't sell here before are like, okay, that was sketch, I'm going to sell here. There's a big sell off and then we fail. What's happening here is that there's also a group of people down here, but this is based off life, right? There's the people down here who did not buy, and there's the people up here who did not sell. And in between them, the people who let's say they bought here and here, right? What is fear? The fear of losing, as I explained yesterday. And greed is the fear of not winning, not gaining. So we're looking at it here and we're saying, okay, we've got people who are afraid to miss out, who got left behind last time. And we've got people who bought here and are losing money. And at a certain point, they can't take it anymore. And they can't take it anymore. Yeah, it's a psychological point. These people cannot take it anymore. These people cannot take it anymore. And there's a rational exchange here where these people say, I'm ready to cut my losses. And these people say, I'm ready to get in and try to catch this next wave. And if I have to take some drawdowns, so be it. But I'm not going to miss out on that last run, because that last run was 130 points. And these people get out, they sell to them. Whichever wins, is there more fear? Are there more people afraid and desperate to get out? Or are there more people greedy, desperate to buy in? That is who will win. So these greedy people can try to buy here, but if there's an overwhelming force of sell-off, the way it works in this market too is when you're shorting and longing, right? You also have to look at it from the reversal standpoint. You've got people shorting here. People tried to short here, maybe it went against them, and then it comes back into profit. And they're, okay, I'm gonna buy that back. You've got buyers here. You've got buyers here. You've got buyers here. So it's the psychological point between the two. They need to get in and they need to get out. Who needs it more? Or they want it to go down, they want it to go up. Who needs it more? Whether it's based on them being afraid or greedy or whatever. Does that philosophy make sense to people about, you got people who want one side to win, one another, and that's the point of exchange between the two. These people say, okay, I'm done. I know I want to take my money, and I'm done. I want to cut my losses. I want to make my money, and I want to cut my losses. That's where the exchange occurs. Okay, that was it. If you have any questions, feel free to join my Discord or leave a comment. But it's preferred if you join, of course, because that's where you're going to get the most interaction from me, and there'll be other students to help you out as well. Speaking of, next video is the final video for this playlist, and that's going to be about the Safe Place mentorship. We'll be reading through some testimonials as well as discussing what to expect in the mentorship, what you can get out of it, who is a good fit for the mentorship, and some other finer details as well. I'll see you in that next video. Take care.